The Northern Crown entered the Arctic storm, searching for massive cod beneath the freezing ocean. Captain Eirik Magnusson understood how quickly Arctic fishing could become deadly. The violent Greenland Sea punished every ship crossing the frozen waters. The exhausted crew reinforced every fishing cable before lowering the heavy nets. The freezing temperatures turned every cable dangerously rigid. Far beneath the frozen surface, something enormous moved through the darkness. A massive Greenland shark silently approached the descending net. The enormous predator was larger than anything the crew expected. Hours later, the heavy net suddenly became impossible to move. The crew immediately realized the net had trapped something enormous. Captain Eirik Magnusson ordered the retrieval operation to continue carefully. The overloaded cable sounded ready to explode apart. The worsening storm transformed the operation into a survival battle. One mistake on the ice-covered deck could become fatal instantly. The heavy net rose toward the surface, centimeter by centimeter. The first shape inside the net shocked the entire crew. The giant shark was larger than the rescue boat attached to the vessel. Nobody on board had ever seen a Greenland shark this massive before. One powerful strike shook the entire vessel violently. The reinforced net began ripping under the shark's unbelievable strength. The crew struggled to control the violent movement.
Captain Eirik Magnusson ordered every crew member onto the deck immediately!
The exhausted fishermen tried desperately to secure the giant predator. The giant shark tore through layers of reinforced steel mesh effortlessly. The storm and the predator attacked the crew at the same time. One overloading cable finally exploded apart. The broken cable nearly killed 2 crew members instantly. Every movement of the shark threatened to destroy the vessel. Years of expensive equipment disappeared within seconds. The freezing Greenland Sea showed no mercy to the exhausted crew.
The overloaded winch system was close to total failure.
The ancient predator nearly escaped back into the Arctic depths. Every fisherman on board fought to contain the impossible catch. The predator looked powerful enough to destroy steel itself. The damaged railings began collapsing beneath the impact. The storm intensified as the dangerous operation continued. The exhausted crew relied on industrial cargo chains normally used for shipping containers. The overloaded crane groaned beneath the impossible weight. The giant predator looked unreal, hanging above the freezing ocean.
One uncontrolled swing could destroy the entire deck.
The main crane began showing signs of structural failure. Emergency repairs became necessary before the machinery collapsed completely. After hours of chaos, the giant predator finally reached the deck. The exhausted crew could barely believe the size of the catch. The Greenland shark was too large for the standard processing platform. The giant predator measured longer than several small boats. The ancient shark carried scars from decades inside the Arctic Ocean. The destroyed net became proof of the predator's terrifying strength. The dangerous return voyage began, with the giant predator still moving. The battered fishing vessel immediately changed course toward shore. Every powerful wave threatened to break the restraints completely. Captain Eirik Magnusson feared the overloaded vessel might not survive the blizzard. The violent Greenland sea continued attacking the exhausted crew relentlessly. The crew worked non-stop to secure the impossible catch. The Northern Crown looked painfully small against the frozen ocean. After surviving the brutal night, the harbor finally appeared ahead. The harbor workers had never prepared for a shark this large. Rumors about the impossible catch spread across the harbor before sunrise. Even docking the overloaded vessel became extremely risky.
The unloading operation required industrial cargo equipment normally used for machinery.
The overloaded crane motors groaned beneath the unbelievable weight. The giant predator looked unreal, hanging above the industrial dock.
One uncontrolled movement could destroy nearby equipment instantly.
Several workers feared the steel cables might fail completely. The dangerous wind nearly turned the unloading into disaster. The impossible unloading operation succeeded by only a few centimeters. The overloaded transport vehicle barely handled the enormous predator. The ancient predator headed toward Iceland's largest processing warehouse. The frozen processing floor shook beneath the enormous weight.
The inspection team immediately realized the catch was historically unusual.
The digital scale revealed a shocking final weight. The giant predator had survived decades inside the Arctic depths. Only the most experienced processor accepted the operation.
We're seeing significant trauma here on the flank. Yes, log that abrasion at the 7-meter mark.
The industrial facility struggled to handle the extraordinary size. Marine researchers arrived immediately after hearing about the impossible catch.
The ancient predator fascinated researchers across Iceland.
For the exhausted fishermen, the impossible journey was finally ending. Captain Eirik Magnusson watched the storm disappear beyond the harbor. The brutal Arctic storm had nearly destroyed the entire operation. The impossible predator became legendary across Icelandic fishing communities. The destroyed equipment revealed how dangerous the operation truly became. The battered trawler survived one of the most terrifying nights in company history.
We're losing pressure on the brace. Keep the heat steady. I'm almost through the first pass.
The ancient Greenland shark became part of Arctic fishing history forever. The exhausted fishermen finally allowed themselves to celebrate survival. The brutal Arctic Ocean continued hiding unknown predators beneath the ice. Captain Eirik Magnusson knew another impossible catch could appear someday. Somewhere beneath the frozen Arctic waters, another ancient predator is still waiting.